You know what's funny? We live in a world where everyone's chasing the latest beauty hack, the newest wellness trend, or the most expensive anti-aging treatment. And yet there's one woman who seems to have cracked the code without all the chaos. At 56 years old, Jennifer Aniston looks like she's found a fountain of youth. And before you roll your eyes thinking it's just Hollywood magic and a team of experts, let me tell you something that might actually surprise you. The secrets behind her radiant skin, her incredible physique, and that enviable energy she brings to every red carpet aren't locked behind million-dollar treatments or unattainable routines. They're actually refreshingly simple, surprisingly relatable, and yes, you can absolutely implement them into your own life starting today. So if you've ever wondered how someone can look that luminous, that strong, and that genuinely happy in their own skin decade after decade, stick around because what I'm about to share with you might just change the way you think about beauty, wellness, and aging altogether. Let's start with something that most people get completely wrong about Jennifer Aniston. When you see her on screen or gracing magazine covers, it's easy to assume she's living some impossibly perfect lifestyle where every single moment is meticulously controlled and every meal is weighed to the gram. But here's the reality that she herself has been incredibly open about, and it's something that makes her entire approach to wellness so much more accessible than you might think. Jennifer follows what she calls the 80-20 rule, and this isn't just some catchy phrase she throws around for interviews. This is the actual foundation of how she lives her life. 80% of the time, she's incredibly disciplined with her nutrition, her workouts, and her self-care routines. She eats clean, trains hard, and prioritizes her wellness like it's her job, because in many ways it is. But then comes that crucial 20%, and this is where the magic really happens. That remaining 20%, that's where she lives. That's where she enjoys her martinis with friends, indulges in pizza and burgers, stays up late laughing until her stomach hurts, and basically just exists as a normal human being who understands that life isn't meant to be lived in a constant state of restriction and denial. She's gone on record saying that she doesn't deprive herself because deprivation isn't sustainable and it certainly isn't enjoyable. This balance, this understanding that wellness isn't about perfection, but about consistent, healthy choices with room for joy and indulgence, is what makes her approach not just effective, but actually livable for the long term. Think about it for a second. How many times have you started a diet or fitness routine that demanded 100% commitment, 100% of the time? And how long did that last before you burned out, felt miserable, and eventually gave up altogether? Jennifer's 80-20 approach isn't revolutionary because it's new or trendy. It's revolutionary because it acknowledges a fundamental truth about human nature. We need balance, we need joy, and we need permission to be imperfect while still pursuing our best selves. Now, let's talk about what actually fills up that 80%, because this is where things get really interesting and where you'll find the actual nuts and bolts of her wellness routine. Jennifer's approach to nutrition is built on principles that nutritionists and health experts have been advocating for years, but she's found a way to make them work seamlessly with her lifestyle and her goals. First and foremost, protein is non-negotiable in her diet. Every single meal she eats includes a significant protein source, and this isn't by accident. Whether it's lean chicken breast, fresh fish, perfectly cooked eggs, or plant-based protein alternatives, she makes absolutely certain that protein is present at every eating occasion. Why? Because protein isn't just about building muscle, although that's certainly part of it. Protein is what keeps you feeling satisfied and full for hours after eating, which means you're less likely to reach for snacks or overeat later in the day. It stabilizes your blood sugar levels, preventing those energy crashes that have you reaching for sugary pick-me UPS mid-afternoon. It supports your metabolism, helps maintain lean muscle mass as you age, and plays a crucial role in everything from hormone production to immune function. Jennifer has specifically mentioned that she aims for specific ratios to support her muscle-building goals, consuming around 1.7 grams of carbs and 2 grams of protein per kilogram of her body weight. This isn't some random number she pulled from thin air. This is a carefully calculated approach that ensures her body has exactly what it needs to stay strong, recover from workouts, and maintain that incredibly toned physique she's known for. But protein is just one piece of the puzzle. Vegetables play an equally starring role in her daily nutrition, appearing at virtually every meal in abundant quantities. We're talking about colorful, nutrient-dense vegetables that provide vitamins, minerals, fiber, and all those beneficial plant compounds that support everything from skin health to cellular function. She's not picking at a sad side salad here. We're talking about plates filled with roasted vegetables, fresh salads with interesting ingredients, sautéed greens, and vegetable-based dishes that are actually satisfying and delicious. This combination of high protein and abundant vegetables creates meals that are incredibly nutrient-dense while still being relatively moderate in calories, which is part of how she maintains her figure without feeling constantly hungry or deprived. But here's where Jennifer's approach gets even more interesting and perhaps even more effective than many trendy diet plans out there. She practices intermittent fasting, specifically the 16-8 method, and she's been following this pattern for years now with remarkable consistency. Now, before you panic thinking this means she's starving herself or going extreme measures, let me explain exactly what this actually looks like in practice and why it's become such a cornerstone of her wellness routine. Intermittent fasting 16-8 means that she restricts her eating to an 8-hour window each day, which means she's fasting for the remaining 16 hours. For Jennifer, this typically means skipping breakfast entirely and having her first meal later in the day. Her mornings start not with food but with beverages, specifically coffee, lemon water, and something we're going to talk about in detail in just a moment. She's been incredibly candid about noticing significant differences in how her body looks and feels when she goes without solid food for those 16 hours. During the fasting window, your body exhausts its immediate glucose stores and begins tapping into fat stores for energy. Your insulin levels drop, your human growth hormone levels increase, and your body initiates important cellular repair processes. But beyond all the technical benefits, Jennifer has found that intermittent fasting simplifies her life considerably. She's not thinking about breakfast. She's not meal prepping for 6 small meals throughout the day. And she's not constantly in that cycle of eating, digesting, and planning the next meal. She can focus her mornings on meditation, movement, hydration, and getting mentally prepared for her day. And then when her eating window opens, she enjoys satisfying, nutritious meals without guilt or restriction. She's mentioned that when she does break her fast, her first meal is often drinkable, a smoothie or collagen-infused beverage that provides nutrition without weighing her down or making her feel sluggish. Then later in her eating window, she'll have more substantial meals featuring those proteins and vegetables we talked about earlier, along with healthy fats from sources like avocado, nuts, seeds, and olive oil, plus complex carbohydrates in appropriate portions to fuel her workouts and energy needs. And speaking of things she drinks, we absolutely have to talk about collagen, because this is something Jennifer has made a central part of her wellness routine, and something she's been incredibly vocal about using consistently for years. She's not just a casual user. She's actually the chief creative officer for Vital Proteins, the collagen brand she swears by. And before you think this is just celebrity endorsement fluff, she's made it very clear that she was already a dedicated user of their products long before any business relationship began. She genuinely believes in collagen supplementation and has seen real, tangible results from making it part of her daily routine. So what exactly is she doing with collagen? And why does she consider it so important? Every single morning, without fail, Jennifer adds Vital Proteins collagen peptides powder to her coffee or makes what she calls a collagen latte. This isn't flavored or sweetened. We're talking about pure, unflavored collagen peptides that dissolve completely into hot beverages without changing the taste. Each serving provides 20 grams of high-quality, grass-fed bovine collagen, along with vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, 2 additional ingredients that support collagen synthesis and skin hydration. Why does this matter so much? Because collagen is literally the most abundant protein in your body, making up significant portions of your skin, hair, nails, joints, bones, and connective tissues. It's what gives your skin that plump, youthful appearance, what keeps your joints moving smoothly, what maintains the strength and elasticity of your blood vessels, and what supports gut health. The problem is that as we age, our natural collagen production dramatically decreases. Starting around age 25, we lose approximately 1% of our collagen per year, and this decline accelerates as we get older, particularly after menopause for women. This is why we start seeing fine lines, wrinkles, sagging skin, joint discomfort, brittle nails, and thinning hair. Supplementing with collagen peptides provides your body with the specific amino acids it needs to potentially support its own collagen production and repair processes. Jennifer has credited her consistent collagen supplementation with improvements in her skin's appearance, her hair's thickness and strength, her nail quality, and even her joint health, which is particularly important given her intense workout routine. She's so convinced of its benefits that she's literally made it her mission to turn other people onto collagen supplementation. And based on the science and the countless testimonials from people who've incorporated it into their routines, she might be onto something genuinely valuable here. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that's arguably just as important as nutrition when it comes to Jennifer's incredible physique and her overall wellness. And that's her approach to fitness and movement. This woman works out a minimum of 3 to 4 times per week, but ideally she's hitting the gym or doing some form of structured exercise for the 5 times weekly. But here's what's really interesting, and what separates her approach from a lot of celebrity fitness routines you might hear about. She's not doing the same workout day in and day out until her body adapts and progress stalls. She's mixing up constantly, incorporating different modalities, different intensities, and different movement patterns to keep her body challenged and engaged. For years, Jennifer was known for her dedication to intense cardio sessions, often running for 45 minutes to an hour, combined with yoga for flexibility and mind-body connection. She followed that up with floor work for core strength, and then hit the weights for resistance training. This combination gave her that lean, toned look she became famous for. But as she's gotten older and wiser about fitness, her approach has evolved in really interesting ways. She's become a huge advocate and spokesperson for Pvolve, which is a low-impact functional fitness program that focuses on resistance-based movements, equipment like resistance bands, P-balls inspired by Pilates, and ankle weights to create workouts that build strength and muscle definition without the joint stress that comes from high-impact exercises or heavy lifting. Jennifer has been incredibly open about how discovering Pvolve literally transformed her body in ways that her previous workout routines hadn't achieved. She's talked about finally feeling truly strong rather than just thin, about building functional fitness that translates to everyday movement and reduces injury risk, and about finding a workout style that she actually looks forward to rather than dreading. The low-impact nature of Pvolve is particularly beneficial for women approaching or going through menopause, which is exactly where Jennifer is in her life journey right now. Studies have actually shown that the type of resistance-based, low-impact training that Pvolve emphasizes can be more effective for menopausal women than high-intensity cardio alone, helping to combat the hormonal changes that can lead to muscle loss, weight gain, and decreased bone density. But Jennifer hasn't completely abandoned her other favorite movement practices. She still incorporates yoga regularly for its flexibility, balance, and stress reduction benefits. She still does boxing workouts because they're incredible for coordination, cardiovascular conditioning, and honestly just for the stress release that comes from hitting something really hard. And she still makes sure to include dedicated cardio sessions of at least 20 minutes, understanding that cardiovascular health is crucial for longevity, heart health, and overall fitness. What I find particularly inspiring about Jennifer's fitness approach is her honesty about what actually works for her versus what doesn't. She's admitted that she's not someone who thrives working out alone all the time. She prefers group workouts, classes with other people, or sessions with a trainer, because the social component and the accountability help keep her motivated and consistent. This is such an important lesson that so many people miss when they're trying to build a fitness routine. We often think we should be able to white-knuckle our way through workouts we hate, doing them in isolation day after day, because that's what discipline looks like. But Jennifer has figured out that sustainability and long-term success come from finding movement you actually enjoy or at least don't completely dread, and creating an environment that supports your commitment. If group classes keep you accountable, do group classes. If having a trainer keeps you showing up, invest in a trainer. If certain types of movement make you feel strong and capable, while others leave you feeling depleted and unmotivated, honor that and adjust accordingly. She's also been very candid about the fact that she doesn't always hit her fitness goals perfectly. There are weeks when she's working intensely on a project and can only squeeze in 2 or 3 workouts instead of her ideal 4 or 5. She doesn't beat herself up about this or use it as an excuse to throw in the towel completely. She just does what she can with the time and energy she has, and then gets back to her regular routine when her schedule allows. This flexibility and self-compassion within a generally consistent framework is honestly one of the most powerful aspects of her entire wellness philosophy. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up consistently over time, adapting when necessary, and treating yourself with kindness rather than harsh criticism when life inevitably gets in the way of your plans. Beyond the gym and the structured workouts, Jennifer is also incredibly intentional about general movement and activity throughout her day. She's not someone who works out intensely for an hour and then sits motionless for the remaining 23 hours. She takes walks. She stretches. She moves her body in gentle ways that keep her blood flowing and her joints mobile. This concept of non-exercise activity thermogenesis, basically all the calories you burn through general daily movement, plays a surprisingly significant role in overall health and weight management. Studies have shown that people who maintain higher levels of general daily movement, even if it's just walking around more, taking stairs, or doing household activities, tend to have better metabolic health and easier time maintaining healthy body composition compared to people who exercise intensely but are otherwise sedentary. Jennifer seems to intuitively understand this, keeping herself generally active rather than falling into that trap of, I worked out so now I can be a couch potato for the rest of the day. She's also very thoughtful about injury prevention and recovery, understanding that at 56, her body needs different things than it did in her 20s or 30s. She prioritizes proper warm-ups before workouts, cool-downs afterward, and regular stretching and mobility work to keep her body functioning optimally. She listens when her body signals that it needs rest rather than pushing through pain or fatigue, understanding that rest and recovery are when your body actually adapts and gets stronger, not during the workouts themselves. This mature, intelligent approach to fitness is part of why she's been able to maintain such an incredible physique for decades without major injuries or burnout that would force extended time away from exercise. Now we need to talk about skincare, because let's be honest, a huge part of why Jennifer continues to turn heads is that absolutely luminous, seemingly ageless skin she maintains year after year. And here's where things get really interesting, because her skincare philosophy is simultaneously sophisticated and surprisingly straightforward. She's not doing 10-step routines with dozens of products. She's not constantly chasing every new trend that hits the market. Instead, she's built a consistent, effective routine around products and ingredients that actually work, and she sticks with it religiously. Let's start with the absolute foundation of her entire skincare approach. And this is something that dermatologists around the world would applaud her for. Sunscreen, every single day. Non-negotiable. Jennifer has been incredibly clear about the fact that daily sun protection is probably the single most important thing she does for her skin, more important than any serum or cream or treatment. She uses Image Skincare's Daily Prevention Moisturizer with SPF 50, applying it religiously every morning regardless of the weather, the season, or whether she plans to spend time outdoors. This consistent sun protection over decades is likely one of the biggest factors in why her skin has aged so remarkably well. UV radiation from the sun is responsible for approximately 80 to 90% of visible aging signs, including wrinkles, sunspots, loss of elasticity, and uneven texture. By protecting her skin daily, Jennifer has prevented the vast majority of damage that accumulates over time and leads to that aged, sun-damaged appearance. But sun protection is just the beginning. Her actual skincare routine features several powerhouse products and ingredients that address different aspects of skin health and aging. For cleansing, she uses gentle formulas that remove makeup, sunscreen, and daily grime without stripping her skin or disrupting its natural moisture barrier. This might seem basic, but harsh cleansing is actually one of the most common skincare mistakes people make, damaging their skin barrier and causing inflammation that accelerates aging. Jennifer understands that cleansing should be thorough but gentle, preparing the skin for treatment products without causing harm. For moisturizing, Jennifer has been a long-time ambassador for Aveeno, and she genuinely uses their products, particularly their moisturizers and body lotions. But she's also a big fan of more luxurious options like Augustina's Bader the Rich Cream, a cult favorite moisturizer that costs a pretty penny, but is beloved by skincare enthusiasts and dermatologists alike for its sophisticated formulation and visible results. She also uses products from U-Beauty, particularly their resurfacing compound and tinted moisturizers, which have become staples in her routine. The U-Beauty Resurfacing Compound is particularly interesting because it's designed to be a multitasking product that addresses several skin concerns simultaneously, including texture, tone, fine lines, and radiance. Jennifer has mentioned how much she loves products that do multiple jobs effectively rather than requiring separate products for every single concern. She's also a dedicated user of OneSkin's Peptide Skin Longevity Age Reversal Moisturizer, a product that's backed by interesting research on skin longevity and cellular aging. Shoppers and reviewers have noted improvements in skin firmness, texture, and that sagging or slack appearance that becomes common with aging, which aligns with Jennifer's own enthusiasm for product. But perhaps the most important treatment product in Jennifer's entire routine is Retinol, specifically the Shunny Darden Retinol Reform Treatment Serum. She applies this at night, and dermatologists everywhere would approve because retinol is perhaps the most studied, most proven anti-aging ingredient available. Retinol is a derivative of vitamin A that works at the cellular level to increase cell turnover, stimulate collagen production, improve skin texture and tone, reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and even help with acne and hyperpigmentation. The Shunny Darden formula is particularly popular because it's effective without being overly irritating, which is a common issue with retinol products, especially for people new to using them or those with sensitive skin. Dr. Joshua Zeichner, a board-certified dermatologist, has specifically commented on Jennifer's use of retinol, noting that it's perhaps the best-studied anti-aging ingredient we have to fight visible signs of aging. Jennifer's consistent use of retinol over many years has almost certainly played a major role in maintaining her skin's smooth texture, even tone, and youthful appearance. Beyond her daily skincare routine, Jennifer is also a big believer in professional treatments and at-home devices that take her skin health to the next level. She's mentioned loving the Zip Halo, which is a microcurrent device that you use at home to tone and lift facial muscles, potentially improving contour and firmness over time. Microcurrent technology is based on the idea that gentle electrical currents can stimulate the muscles underneath the skin, similar to how you might tone your body muscles with exercise. She also uses a Theraface depuffing wand, particularly helpful for reducing puffiness around the eyes and promoting circulation. And she's a fan of high-quality facial masks, specifically mentioning the 111 Skin Anti-Blemish Bio Cellulose Facial Mask among her favorites for giving her skin an extra boost of hydration and treatment ingredients when needed. She also gets professional treatments, including facials and laser procedures, working with experienced estheticians and dermatologists to address specific concerns and maintain her results. But here's what's so important about Jennifer's approach to skincare, and this is something she's emphasized repeatedly in interviews. She keeps her makeup minimal and her skincare focus maximum. She's talked about how wearing less makeup as she's gotten older has actually been beneficial for her skin, allowing it to breathe and reducing the amount of product buildup and potential irritation. She prefers a more natural look with just spot concealer where needed, a tinted moisturizer for light coverage, and maybe mascara and lip color to enhance her features without masking them. This minimalist approach to makeup combined with her sophisticated approach to skincare means her skin is doing most of the heavy lifting in terms of how she looks, which is always going to be more sustainable and healthier long-term than relying on heavy makeup to cover up skin that isn't being properly cared for. Now, let's talk about something that Jennifer considers absolutely essential, but that many people completely overlook when thinking about beauty and wellness, and that's sleep. Jennifer has been incredibly honest about her struggles with sleep over the years, admitting that she's dealt with insomnia and sleep issues that have significantly impacted her well-being. She's mentioned doing everything possible to try to improve her sleep, including consulting with doctors, trying various supplements, experimenting with different routines and environmental factors, and really prioritizing sleep hygiene in a serious way. So what exactly is she doing to optimize her sleep, and why does she consider this such a crucial part of her overall wellness? Let's start with her bedtime routine, because this is where a lot of the magic happens when it comes to preparing your body and mind for quality sleep. Jennifer has made a real effort to go to bed at the same time every night, specifically aiming for around 10 or 11 p.m. during weekdays. Maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends when possible, is one of the most powerful tools for regulating your circadian rhythm and improving overall sleep quality. Your body thrives on predictability when it comes to sleep-wake cycles, And when you're constantly shifting your bedtime or wake time, you're essentially giving yourself jet lag over and over again. About an hour before her target bedtime, Jennifer begins winding down deliberately and intentionally. She turns off all her devices, taking her phone completely out of the bedroom and placing it either in the bathroom or the kitchen, so she's not tempted to scroll mindlessly or check emails or social media when she should be sleeping. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and computers suppresses melatonin production, the hormone that signals to your body that it's time to sleep. So eliminating screen exposure in the hour or two before bed can significantly improve how quickly you fall asleep and the quality of sleep you get. She also does some gentle stretching or yoga before bed, moving her body in slow, deliberate ways that release physical tension and signal to her nervous system that it's time to shift into rest mode. She might take a hot bath, which not only feels relaxing, but actually has a physiological effect on sleep. When you get out of a hot bath, your body temperature drops, and this temperature decrease signals to your body that it's time for sleep. She also practices gratitude exercises, either through journaling or simply mentally reviewing things she's thankful for from her day, which shift her mind away from stress and worry and toward positive emotions that are more conducive to peaceful sleep. Jennifer is also very careful about what she puts into her body in the hours leading up to bedtime. She avoids caffeine after a certain time, understanding that caffeine has a half-life of several hours and can interfere with sleep even if consumed many hours before bed. She's thoughtful about alcohol consumption, understanding that while alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it actually disrupts sleep architecture later in the night, leading to fragmented, lower-quality sleep. She keeps her bedroom environment optimized for sleep, maintaining a cool temperature, using blackout curtains to eliminate light, and ensuring her bedding is comfortable and inviting. All of these factors might seem small individually, but cumulatively they create an environment and routine that supports the kind of deep, restorative sleep that's absolutely crucial for beauty, health, and well-being. And why is Jennifer so focused on optimizing her sleep? Because she understands something that science has proven repeatedly. Sleep is when your body does a majority of its repair and restoration work. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which is crucial for tissue repair and muscle building. Your skin cells regenerate and repair damage from UV exposure, pollution, and oxidative stress. Your brain consolidates memories and clears out metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. Your immune system strengthens. Your hormones rebalance. Essentially, every system in your body depends on adequate, quality sleep to function optimally. When you chronically skimp on sleep or suffer from poor quality sleep, it shows up everywhere. In your skin through increased inflammation, fine lines, and dull complexion. In your weight through disrupted hunger hormones that increase appetite and cravings. In your mood through increased anxiety and depression risk. In your cognitive function through reduced focus and memory. And in your overall health through increased risk of numerous chronic diseases. Jennifer's commitment to improving her sleep hygiene and prioritizing adequate rest is just as important as her workouts or her skincare routine. Possibly even more so, because sleep impacts literally every aspect of health and well-being. But we can't talk about Jennifer's wellness routine without discussing the mental and emotional practices that keep her centered, balanced, and genuinely happy despite the pressures of fame, work demands, and personal challenges. This is where her approach becomes even more holistic and impressive, because she understands that true wellness isn't just about looking good physically. It's about feeling good mentally and emotionally as well. Meditation is absolutely central to Jennifer's daily routine, specifically Transcendental Meditation, which she practices every single morning without fail for about 20 minutes as soon as she wakes up. She's been incredibly vocal about how transformative meditation has been for her stress levels, her mental clarity, her ability to navigate challenges, and her overall sense of well-being. Transcendental Meditation is a specific technique where you silently repeat a mantra, a personally assigned word or sound, to settle your mind and achieve a state of restful alertness. Unlike some forms of meditation that require you to clear your mind or focus intently, TM is designed to be effortless and natural, allowing your mind to settle into deeper states of rest while remaining awake and aware. Research on TM has shown benefits including reduced anxiety and depression, lower blood pressure, improved cardiovascular health, better sleep, enhanced cognitive function, and increased resilience to stress. Jennifer has said that meditation is a no-brainer for her, something so beneficial and so accessible that she can't imagine not doing it. She's noticed that on days when she meditates, her stress levels are significantly lower, she interacts with people more easily and positively, and she feels more centered and capable of handling whatever the day throws at her. This isn't just subjective perception. The physiological effects of regular meditation practice are well documented, including changes in brain structure and function, alterations in stress hormone levels, and improvements in nervous system regulation. Beyond meditation, Jennifer also journals regularly, using writing as a tool for processing emotions, setting intentions, and practicing gratitude. Journaling has been shown to have numerous mental health benefits, including reduced anxiety, improved mood, better self-awareness, and enhanced ability to work through difficult emotions and experiences. She also practices what you might call digital wellness, being very intentional about her relationship with technology and social media. She's mentioned taking regular breaks from social media, not looking at her phone first thing in the morning before she's had time to meditate and center herself, and being selective about what content she consumes and how much time she spends scrolling. This digital mindfulness is increasingly recognized as crucial for mental health in our hyperconnected world, where the constant barrage of information, comparison, and stimulation can significantly increase stress, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy. Jennifer has also been remarkably open about seeking professional help when needed, working with therapists and other mental health professionals to work through personal challenges, process difficult emotions, and develop healthy coping strategies. This openness about mental health support is incredibly valuable, helping to normalize the idea that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health, and that seeking professional help is a sign of strength and self-awareness, not weakness. She's talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with good people, maintaining close friendships, nurturing family relationships, and building a support network of people who genuinely care about you and want the best for you. Social connection is one of the most powerful predictors of health, happiness, and longevity, and Jennifer clearly prioritizes maintaining strong, meaningful relationships despite her busy schedule and the challenges that come with fame. There's also something really important to mention about Jennifer's overall philosophy on aging, beauty, and self-acceptance, because this mindset piece is arguably just as important as any of the practical strategies we've discussed. Jennifer has been incredibly outspoken about calling what she terms the absurd rules and expectations around aging for women. She's rejected the idea that women should become invisible or less relevant as they get older, that they should hide signs of aging or feel ashamed about them, or that their value is somehow diminished as they move through different life stages. She's embraced getting older, talking about how she and her body have finally come to love each other in ways that weren't true when she was younger. She's discussed feeling stronger, more capable, and more confident in her 50s than she ever did in her 20s or 30s, despite societal messaging that would have you believe youth is the only time women are valuable or beautiful. This self-acceptance and confidence isn't about complacency or giving up on health and wellness. Obviously, Jennifer works incredibly hard to maintain her health and appearance, but it comes from a place of self-love and wanting to feel good in her own skin rather than from fear, shame, or desperate attempts to turn back time. She's talked about giving herself permission to have days where she eats whatever she wants, to skip workouts when her body needs rest, to show up with minimal makeup and messy hair when that feels right, to prioritize enjoyment and life experiences over constant restriction and control. This balanced, compassionate approach to self-care is what makes her entire wellness philosophy sustainable long-term. It's not about punishing yourself or white-knuckling your way through joyless routines. It's about loving yourself enough to make choices that support your well-being most of the time, while also allowing flexibility, enjoyment, and humanity to be part of the equation. We should also talk about hydration, because while it might seem basic, it's something Jennifer prioritizes consistently and something that makes a bigger difference than most people realize. She drinks plenty of water throughout the day, starting her morning with lemon water before she has her collagen coffee. Lemon water has become somewhat trendy, but there are actually some legitimate benefits to starting your day with it. The vitamin C in lemon supports immune function and collagen production. The slight acidity can support digestion. And the simple act of drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning helps rehydrate your body after hours without fluid intake during sleep, kickstarts your metabolism, and begins flushing out toxins and waste products. Throughout the day, Jennifer continues drinking water consistently, keeping herself well hydrated, which benefits literally every system in her body. Proper hydration supports skin health, keeping it plump and reducing the appearance of fine lines and dryness. It supports kidney function and elimination of waste products. It maintains blood volume and cardiovascular function. It lubricates joints and helps prevent muscle cramps. It supports cognitive function, with even mild dehydration causing measurable decreases in concentration, mood, and mental performance. It helps regulate body temperature. It aids digestion and prevents constipation. Basically, water is involved in virtually every physiological process in your body, and chronic mild dehydration, which is incredibly common, can contribute to numerous health issues and make you look and feel far worse than necessary. Jennifer's commitment to consistent hydration throughout the day is one of those simple habits that compounds over time to create significant benefits. Let's also discuss Jennifer's approach to alcohol, because this is an area where her philosophy really shines through in terms of balance and honesty. She's been very open about enjoying martinis, about going out with friends and having drinks, about not restricting herself from the social and enjoyable aspects of alcohol consumption. But she's also clearly thoughtful about how much she drinks and how often, understanding that excessive alcohol consumption can significantly impact skin health, sleep quality, weight management, and overall well-being. This is at 20% of her 80-20 rule in action. She allows herself to enjoy these moments without guilt, but she's not overdoing it to the point where it undermines all the healthy habits she maintains the other 80% of the time. This balanced approach to alcohol is actually far healthier than the extremes of either drinking heavily and frequently or feeling like you can never have a drink without guilt and shame. Many people struggle with this all-or-nothing mentality where they feel like they're either perfectly good or they've completely failed. But Jennifer demonstrates that middle ground where you can enjoy life's pleasures in moderation while still maintaining overall health and wellness goals. Something else worth noting about Jennifer's entire approach is her willingness to invest in her health and wellness, both in terms of time and money. She's not trying to do everything on the cheap or cut corners. She works with trainers. She invests in quality supplements and skincare products. She gets professional treatments when beneficial, and she prioritizes making time in her schedule for all of these wellness practices. Now, obviously, Jennifer has financial resources that make some of these investments more accessible to her than they might be for the average person. But the principle here is valuable regardless of your specific budget or circumstances. She treats her health and wellness as a priority worthy of investment rather than an afterthought or something she gets to only if she has leftover time and money after everything else. This mindset shift, treating your wellness as a priority rather than a luxury, can make a huge difference in terms of actually following through on healthy habits. It means scheduling workouts and treating them as non-negotiable appointments. It means budgeting for quality food and potentially for things like gym memberships or classes that keep you motivated. It means being willing to spend money on sunscreen, quality skincare, or supplements that actually work rather than trying to save a few dollars on ineffective products. It means recognizing that taking care of yourself isn't selfish or frivolous, but rather essential for being able to show up fully in all the other areas of your life that matter to you. There's also something to be said about consistency and patience, because Jennifer's incredible results aren't from a 30-day challenge or a quick fix program. They're from years and actually decades of showing up consistently and doing the work even when it's not exciting or when results aren't immediately visible. She's been practicing many of these habits since her 20s and 30s, building a foundation of health that's paid dividends as she's gotten older. But even beyond that long-term consistency, she shows up day after day, week after week, month after month, doing her workouts, following her nutrition plan, taking care of her skin, prioritizing sleep, practicing meditation, even when it would be easier to skip it or phone it in. This consistency is honestly the secret ingredient that most people miss when they're trying to achieve their own wellness goals. They try something for a few weeks, don't see dramatic results, get discouraged, and give up or move on to the next shiny new thing. But real, lasting results come from consistent action over extended periods of time. Jennifer didn't wake up at 56 looking incredible because of what she did last month. She looks incredible because of what she's been doing consistently for years. And, importantly, this consistency doesn't mean perfection. As we've discussed, she has weeks where she can't work out as much as she'd like. She has nights where her sleep isn't great despite her best efforts. She has meals that don't fit her usual nutrition patterns. But she doesn't let these imperfect moments derail her entirely. She just gets back to her normal routine and keeps moving forward, understanding that long-term consistency matters far more than short-term perfection. It's also worth noting that Jennifer has been willing to adapt and evolve her approach as she's gotten older, and as she's learned more about what works for her body. She hasn't just stuck rigidly to the same exact routine she followed in her 30s. She's embraced new modalities like Pvolve when she discovered they work better for her current stage of life. She's adjusted her nutrition as she's learned more about what helps her feel and perform her best. She's incorporated new skincare ingredients and treatments as research has advanced and new products have become available. This willingness to adapt and adjust rather than clinging stubbornly to what you've always done is crucial for long-term success, because your needs change as you age, as your life circumstances change, and as you learn more about yourself. What worked perfectly when you were 25 might not be optimal when you're 45 or 55, and being willing to reassess and modify your approach based on current needs and new information is a sign of wisdom and self-awareness. Jennifer demonstrates this beautifully, honoring the practices that continue to serve her while being open to incorporating new elements that might work even better for where she is now. Now, I want to address something that I think is really important when we're looking at Jennifer Aniston as a source of inspiration and information about wellness. Yes, she has advantages that most of us don't have. She has access to top trainers, nutritionists, dermatologists, and other experts. She can afford premium products, treatments, and services. She has professional reasons to prioritize her appearance that create additional motivation. She likely has favorable genetics that influence how she ages. These factors are real, and we shouldn't pretend they don't matter. However, and this is crucial, the core principles of what she's doing are absolutely accessible and applicable regardless of your budget or circumstances. You don't need expensive collagen powder to prioritize protein in your diet. You don't need a Pvolve membership to engage in regular resistance training and low-impact movement. You don't need luxury face creams to wear sunscreen daily and use basic retinol products. You don't need a meditation app subscription to practice mindfulness and stress management. You don't need access to celebrity trainers to follow an 80-20 approach to nutrition. The specific products and services might differ, but the principles of consistent exercise, balanced nutrition, proper sleep, stress management, basic skincare, adequate hydration, and self-compassionate consistency are available to virtually everyone. Jennifer's approach is inspiring not because you need to copy exactly what she does, but because it demonstrates that sustainable wellness comes from relatively simple, unsexy basics done consistently over time, not from complicated protocols or magic solutions.